hello. Hello, Chopper. Bash him and smash him. Ah! Got the sheets around his neck. Is that camera following me? Hack through him, hack through him. Stick it up, you bum.
Why did you murder him?
Because he was an absolute turd.
When I first met Chopper Read, I met a bloke who was clearly very sick. You just had to look at his face to see it. The colour was very markedly yellow. And he also pointed out the tumour that was growing in his body.
That's the tumour, look at that. That's a pretty big tumour, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big tumour.
Look at the size of the bastard.
His energy seemed quite low, or quite erratic. He'd be quite energetic and then very, very lacking in energy very quickly. So it was very clear that he was sick. But he was a man who was brash, he was trying to be funny, he was trying to shock.
And you get him to open their mouth along the edge of the gutter. And you stand back and you go, smash to the back of the head, right on the edge of the gutter.
He was interested to know how he was being judged. He was always asking me, you know, you don't really like me, do you? I'm not quite sure why it mattered to Chopper Read whether I did or not. But, yeah, so an interesting fellow, but somebody who was clearly unwell.
I'd like to come back and see what all the fuss is going to be after I'm dead. Read a few of the papers and watch a few of the TV shows and listen to a few of the arty-farty debates, you know, that are going to be on after I'm dead.
Chopper Read, right at the start of the interview, reminisced about how he'd be remembered and how he's thought of, and the debate about who he was and how good or bad he was something that thrilled him, I think. Do you think there'll be a debate about whether you were a good or bad man?
Oh, yeah, there'll be a debate about that, yeah.
Is that debatable?
Oh, I suppose it's debatable, yeah.
I think there is a natural tendency in all of us at some point to embellish. It's our personal bias, it's how we see the world. And I'm pretty sure that that was very true of Chopper Read as well.
And I've jumped up on his bunk and jumped on his head, from his bunk onto his head, from his bunk onto his head, from his bunk onto his head.
I don't think that denies him a very violent and frightening past.
From the bunk on into the chest, bang, bang. And he wasn't dead, you know.
So sure, I think there's probably some embellishment, but I think it was more about being showy, trying to be funny, than making up the facts. But the violence, you know, and the absolute fascination with guns, where did that come from?
What violence? There's no violence in shooting someone. There's no violence. There's no blood spurting out all over the kitchen and
Yeah, but you've told me you've probably stabbed up to a dozen people. You've jumped on people's heads. You've done. I mean, you're violent, Mark.
No, oh God, there's violence and then there's violence.
A lot of people find Chopper Read very entertaining and comical, and you can see that is an act of his.
Well, these bloody bikies want me to invite me to their bloody weddings for, and you've got to bring bloody large amounts of money. Stick it up, you bum.
And is that why you shot him?
Yes. What more do you need? Bang, get a bit of that into you.
A lot of what he had to say was really quite confronting and loathsome.
To protect himself.
He took great joy in describing violence and acting it out for us.
I said, you don't hack someone's ears off gently. I said, you hack through them.
He was doing it in a funny kind of way, but I wasn't very respectful of it. I didn't find it endearing or even very funny. But I was captivated to be sitting opposite somebody who felt so at ease describing the things he was describing. I enjoyed the opportunity to question him about it. What does it feel like to kill someone?
Didn't feel anything at all. Nothing. Nothing.
Whether Chopper Read was telling the truth or not, it is really hard to gauge. I was very sceptical prior to meeting him and as we were doing the research for the story because he's a big talker and he's a self-confessed liar. You have said in the past, you put a television camera in the room and you'll lie your head off.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, right. But I'm telling the truth now.
This was also an interview where he claimed he wanted to set the record straight. He wanted to have the last say. Well, are you prepared to tell the truth today?
Yeah, of course I am.
Why is that?
Because that's what it's all about. This is the last interview, the last picture show.
When I spoke to Chopper Read, if nothing else, it seemed like he believed it. And if you look at the associations he had with some of the people he claimed to have killed, they were close associations. He had contact with them. There was a past history there. So what he was claiming to have done was not out of the realm of possibility, certainly. I can't say with certainty that he did what he claimed to have done, but if anyone was going to do it, in that moment, Chopper Read seemed the likely person.
When I killed Sammy the Turk, that wasn't self-defence. That was outright fucking murder. Sorry, it shouldn't be swearing, but that was outright murder.
I understand there is criticism of the interview and of the story, of giving Chopper Read a say. But he had been having a say for a very long time, and he had entertained a lot of people for a long time. And, you know, this was an opportunity to at least explore the notion that he was making a final confession. I don't think it was to ease his conscience, certainly not. I don't think he really had one. He certainly didn't feel like he had much remorse or any regrets. He wasn't somebody who reflected very easily on who he was or why he did the things he did. This violence that you have in you, the rage that you have in you...
It's not a rage, it's not a rage.
Did you learn it, or were you born with it, do you reckon?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
And maybe it was just one last great act, I'm not sure.
The secret to winning a war is to love something your enemy doesn't like it. My enemy didn't even like being in jail. I loved it. My enemy didn't like being in Haste Division. I loved it. My enemy didn't like having to get up every Monday morning and watch for low-flying pocket knives and low-flying hammers and whether they're going to get attacked that day and who they'd have to attack that day to survive. I loved it. Right?
I think there's probably many things that drove Chopper to want to make this declarative interview, and I think ego was one of the bigger points of that. I think he did want to be remembered as somebody who was dangerous, but who got away with it.
I've heard the bullets rustling through the air, going past my ears.
He knew he was dying. I think, you know, for whatever standards he lived by, this was something that he was proud of, and I think he wanted to tell the world about it. He'd got away with it, but he actually wanted a bit of recognition, I think, and I think he enjoyed it. Enjoyed the spotlight once again.
I'm the only person I could think of going to heaven.
Really?
Yeah. From my world.